Hi there, this is Art and Such, and I've got a pattern for you today for Deanna Troi from Star Trek. I've designed it myself, and I'm using some small round beads for the eyes. You can use pony beads, as I'll show you in this video. You can use a Sharpie to draw on the eyes before or after. I'm using black for the hair, gold for the little comm badge, and I've decided to make Deanna with her purple outfit. So I think we're almost ready to get started. If you are using beads, you might want dental floss or something with which to thread your beads onto your bands. You will need a hook, and you're going to need a rainbow loom in the offset position, so middle row just above the others. We're going to start with the arms. I have one ready, and I'll get you to make one as well. So we take a skin tone band, which you'll also be needing, of course. We'll wrap it 3 times onto our hook. There are 4 loops now. And this goes on to 5 pairs of double purple bands. So 2 purples, and we bring our hand on top, pull it center, and add another set. Put our 2 purples on the end of the hook, and bring the other loops up and over. Replace the end, 3rd set. Oops. It's a slippy set here. Okay, let's try this again, a little too slippery. 3, 4, 5. I forgot to mention, you can always use the rainbow loom bands for the eyes, but I find the problem is if you have darker eyes, they tend to blend in with the dark hair. Okay, so pause for a second and get a second arm at the ready. And when you're ready, you can come back and start on the loom here. We have 3 single skin tone bands from the first peg on the center to the second peg on the center. We're going to take 2 skin tone bands to the second on the side, coming down for the shoulder. 2 skin tone bands from the second center to the second side. We can bring another set of skin tone bands down the center, second peg to third peg, and we're going to meet back from the shoulder. So we take 2 skin tone bands and bring it from your second peg on the side to your third peg on the center, and again from the other side. Now on either side of your loom, you'll be coming down with sets until the second last peg from the bottom of your loom. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sets. But if you want a little more of a curve on our upper body, you will be putting 5 bands from your third peg to your fourth peg, counting from the top. And you can add even more, up to 8 or 9 if you want it to be thicker. In your center, you're going to be using sets of doubles, so 2 bands. Come down from your third peg to your fourth peg, and then another 4 times, just peg to peg. So take your time and get all of this ready, and we can put our arms on. So give it a little tug so that the loops are clear to see, and we're going to press it over the second peg coming down from the top, and one onto the other side. Make sure you get all the loops over. We're going to put some cap bands on. We'll start near the top here. So from your third peg to your third peg, stretch it across, raise it up and over. And the next one, same thing. We don't want the upper body too tight, so we're just going to do a loose one. Now we want her to have a little bit of a waist, so we will take our third securing band, turn it over onto itself, and place this from your 5th peg from the top to your 5th peg from the top. This is just coming right under your other securing bands, and we have it as well in a triangle formation, coming up above the 5th peg on the center. Our next 2 bands are just single bands stretched across. We're going to keep it a little loose. They're almost like pajamas that she has. And our last one is loose, but we will pull the bottom over this peg, which is your 6th peg if you're counting up from the bottom. We can make some shoes. For those, I will take 2 black bands, loop them twice onto my hook. You can do it 3 if you want it a little tighter. And we're pulling it onto 2 single blacks. This goes on to our 2nd peg from the bottom where we had that last purple, and we'll do the same for the other side. 2 blacks, looped twice onto our hook, pulled on top of 2 more blacks. And replace on the 2nd peg from the bottom. We're going to start looping up the center because I don't want to forget this skin tone part. So grab those bottom 2 purples, pull them up over the securing band, and place it on the next hook, the next peg. The next 2, pull them up, and we're going to go straight up until where the skin tone bands come into play. And these ones shouldn't be too crazy because we have nothing in their way. When you get to that 3rd peg from the top, you need to get under those purples and take your first 2 skin tone bands, they should be right on top, bring them back to the side that they came from. Get your next 2 and bring them back. And the last 2 will go straight up. Like so. And we can pick either side. Go under the foot, which is our securing band for the bottom, our cap band, and we're going to loop up the leg. Just keep grabbing those 2 purples. When you get to this part here, where our caps start, just watch that you're pushing the cap back before you reach under and get the bottom 2 purples. And this bottom one is one of the tighter ones. Push back, grab under, reach up to the next one. Push back and repeat. When you get to the really thick one where we have, this one's our double, so make sure you get under both. When you get to the really thick one, you can lift these 5 or so bands up one by one or 2 at a time. Or if you're really brave, you can grab them all at once. And it's the same thing, we're just lifting them to the next peg. Push back your cap. Last one, and then we're going to take the skin tone bands from underneath. I might have to push these down a little bit. We want our skin tone bands, and they're coming back to the center. We're coming back for the other side. Get under your shoe. And we're going to loop up this leg. It's the very same thing we just did. I'll try and do this a little bit faster for you. You can always jump ahead if you're at this point already. Oops. Make sure you keep those caps in place. That could have been ugly. So a thick set. Next one. And reach underneath. Take only your bottom 2 bands and pull those to the middle. Get under all of your hooks, all of your bands, I mean. And we're just taking those bottom ones back to the top peg. Hold on to that really, very steadily. And we can start to remove some of the tighter areas here. Loosen it up before removing this from our loom. Okay, that should be the worst of it. Put your hook through those top bands, top skin tone bands, and we're going to take this off of our loom. Give it a little tug and a straighten. You can decide at this point if there's a side you'd prefer for the front, but it shouldn't matter too much. I think I like this side. Alright, so I will see you back right away for part 2, and we'll put together the head. Thanks for watching.